First Contact and Deception. High Admiral Vexthor stood at the command deck of the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Inevitable Dominion, his 4 eyes fixed on the holographic display of a seemingly unremarkable blue planet. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, rotated slowly in the projection, blissfully unaware of the attention it had drawn from one of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. Another primitive world, Second Commander Zalra noted, her scaled fingers dancing across the control panel. Their technology appears to be centuries behind even our most basic achievements. They've barely managed to establish a permanent presence on their own moon. Vexthor's upper lip curled into what passed for a smile among his species. The Galactic Empire had conquered thousands of worlds across 12 galaxies, each victory adding to their vast collection of resources and technological knowledge. Earth would be no different, or so they thought. Their defenses, Vexthor inquired, his voice carrying the casual disinterest of someone discussing the weather. Primitive orbital satellites, a handful of space stations, and a small fleet of chemical-propelled vessels, Zalra reported. Nothing that could pose even a minor threat to our smallest battlecruiser. The holographic display shifted, showing detailed scans of Earth's military installations, communication networks, and power grids. The Galactic Empire had been watching Earth for months, their cloaked scout ships gathering intelligence while remaining undetected by Earth's rudimentary scanning systems. But deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown even to most of Earth's governments, Dr. Sarah Chen was about to change everything. The quantum engineering expert stood before a panel of military and civilian leaders, her presentation showing something that would have made Vexthor's blood run cold had he known about it. "Project Prometheus is ready," she announced, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. "The quantum drive has exceeded all performance expectations in our latest tests. We can deploy the carrier within 48 hours if necessary." Admiral James Harrison, a veteran of countless terrestrial conflicts, leaned forward in his chair. "And you're certain they haven't detected it?" "The quantum shielding makes it completely invisible to any known form of detection," Dr. Chen confirmed. "The alien vessels in orbit might as well be looking at a blank sheet of paper." The facility, carved into the ocean floor at a depth of 20,000 feet, housed humanity's greatest secret, a supercarrier unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. For 15 years, Earth's greatest minds had worked in absolute secrecy, combining breakthrough discoveries in quantum mechanics with reverse-engineered technology from a crashed alien scout ship found decades earlier. Back on the Inevitable Dominion, Vexthor was finalizing his invasion plans. The Galactic Empire's standard procedure was simple: demonstrate overwhelming force, demand surrender, and absorb the conquered world into their ever-expanding domain. Those who resisted were made examples of, their fate serving as a warning to others who might consider defiance. "Begin the final approach sequence," Vexthor commanded. "I want the invasion fleet in position within 3 planetary rotations. Let's show these primitives what real power looks like." The massive Kraxan warships began moving into position, their hull plating absorbing any radar or lidar signals Earth's detection systems might send their way. Thousands of smaller attack craft filled the spaces between the capital ships, creating a web of destructive potential that could reduce Earth's major cities to ash within hours. Meanwhile, in the underwater facility, Dr. Chen and her team were making final preparations. The U.S. Prometheus, humanity's secret weapon, was more than just a warship. It represented a quantum leap in human technology, incorporating innovations that would have seemed like magic even a decade ago. "All quantum core systems are nominal," reported Lieutenant Commander David Wong, the ship's chief engineer. "Shields are at full capacity, and the drive is spooled and ready." The Prometheus herself was a marvel of engineering, her sleek form stretching nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. Unlike traditional carriers, she didn't need to surface or maintain contact with the ocean above. The quantum drive allowed her to transition directly from water to space, bypassing the normal limitations of atmospheric flight. As Earth's day turned to night, Two very different forces prepared for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. The Kraxan Empire, confident in their superiority, saw only what they expected to see, a primitive world ripe for conquest. But humanity, having learned from history the importance of keeping one's greatest advantages hidden, was ready to reveal that appearances can be deceiving. Online, the quantum core hummed with power, its unique frequency barely detectable even to their own most sensitive instruments. Above, visible through their sophisticated sensors, the Kraxan fleet continued its ominous approach. "They think we're defenseless," Admiral Harrison observed, standing beside her. "That we're just another primitive species to be conquered and enslaved." "They're about to learn otherwise," Dr. Chen replied, her hand resting on the quantum core control panel. "Humanity has always been at its best when underestimated." As the first day drew to a close, the stage was set for a confrontation that would prove once and for all that technological superiority isn't just about who has the biggest fleet or the most advanced weapons. It's about innovation, ingenuity, and the ability to surprise your enemy when they least expect it. The Kraxan Empire was about to learn this lesson the hard way, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The hidden fleet. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, the U.S. Prometheus wasn't alone. As the Kraxan invasion fleet drew closer to Earth, 5 more quantum carriers emerged from their hidden underwater berths, each one a testament to humanity's determination to survive in a hostile universe. Dr. Chen watched through the command center's quantum imaging display as the sister ships took their positions. The U.S. Athena, Ares, Apollo, Artemis, and Atlas. Each represented a different aspect of humanity's defensive strategy, and together they formed the backbone of Earth's hidden fleet. "Status report on the quantum network," she asked, her eyes fixed on the synchronized movements of the massive vessels. Lieutenant Commander Wang's fingers flew across his haptic interface. "All ships are successfully linked, Doctor. The quantum entanglement is stable across all 6 carriers. Whatever one ship sees, they all see. Whatever one ship knows, they all know." This was humanity's greatest achievement, not just the individual ships, but their ability to function as a single coordinated entity through quantum entanglement. Each carrier, while formidable on its own, became exponentially more powerful when linked with its sisters. Above them, blissfully unaware of the forces gathering below, the Kraxan invasion fleet continued its final approach. High Admiral Vexthor was preparing to deliver his ultimatum to Earth's leaders, a message that had brought countless civilizations to their knees. "Launch the Herald probes," he commanded. "Let them witness the full might of the Kraxan Empire before they must choose between submission and annihilation." As the probes descended through Earth's atmosphere, Admiral Harrison gathered the fleet commanders for their final briefing aboard the Prometheus. Captain Sarah Rodriguez of the Athena, Colonel Chen Wei of the Ares, Commander James O'Neill of the Apollo, Captain Maya Patil of the Artemis, and Admiral Victor Rossi of the Atlas, each brought unique tactical expertise to the upcoming battle. The Kraxan Empire expects to find a primitive civilization cowering before their superior technology. Harrison began, his voice steady and determined. Instead, they're going to encounter something they've never seen before. The quantum drive doesn't just move our ships, it rewrites the rules of space-time itself. Dr. Chen stepped forward, bringing up a detailed hologram of the quantum drive system. Each carrier is equipped with a quantum core that can generate localized space-time distortions. When synchronized through the quantum network, we can create effects that will make their conventional weapons and defenses practically useless. The briefing continued as the carrier's crews made their final preparations. Unlike traditional military vessels, these ships were staffed by a unique combination of military personnel and civilian scientists. The complexity of the quantum technology required both tactical expertise and theoretical physics knowledge to operate effectively. Meanwhile, the Kraxan Herald probes had reached their designated positions above Earth's major cities. Their message was simple and brutal: surrender immediately or face extinction. The probes projected massive holograms of the Kraxan fleet, demonstrating their overwhelming firepower by casually destroying several abandoned satellites. But this display of force, intended to inspire terror, only served to confirm what Earth's defenders had long suspected about Kraxan technology. Dr. Chen and her team watched the demonstrations with professional interest, their quantum sensors gathering crucial data about the enemy's capabilities. Their weapons are impressive by conventional standards, Dr. Chen noted, analyzing the data streams, but they're still bound by normal space-time constraints. They have no defense against what we're about to do. Their weapons are impressive by conventional standards, Dr. Chen noted, analyzing the data streams, but they're still bound by normal space-time constraints. They have no defense against what we're about to do. The quantum carriers began their synchronized power-up sequence. Deep beneath the waves, their cores pulsed with energy that defied conventional physics. The quantum network grew stronger, linking not just the ship's sensors and communications, but their very existence across multiple probabilistic states. All ships, report status, Admiral Harrison commanded. U.S. Athena, Quantum Systems Nominal, reported Captain Rodriguez. Her ship specialized in defensive operations, its quantum fields capable of bending enemy fire away from the fleet. U.S. Ares, Weapons Grid Online, Colonel Wei confirmed. The Ares carried the fleet's primary offensive capabilities, its quantum-accelerated particles capable of bypassing any known shielding technology. U.S. Apollo, Sensor Array at full capacity, Commander O'Neill announced. His vessel's quantum scanning systems could detect and analyze enemy movements before they even happened. U.S. Artemis, Stealth Systems Engaged, Captain Puttle reported. The Artemis was the fleet's infiltration specialist, able to phase partially out of normal spacetime. U.S. Atlas, Support Systems Ready, Admiral Rossi concluded. His ship coordinated the quantum network, ensuring the fleet maintained its synchronized capabilities. Dr. Chen turned to Admiral Harrison, her expression both excited and apprehensive. The quantum network is stable. All ships are operating at peak efficiency. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Harrison nodded, his eyes fixed on the tactical display showing the Kraxan fleet above. They had positioned themselves in a standard invasion formation, their arrogance evident in their lack of defensive positioning. They still believed they faced a primitive civilization with no significant military capability. Let them make their demands, Harrison said quietly. Let them think they have the upper hand. When they realize what they're actually facing, it will be too late. The quantum carriers waited in perfect silence, their presence hidden by technology that the Kraxan Empire couldn't even comprehend. Above them, Vexthor prepared to deliver his final ultimatum, completely unaware that he was about to encounter a force that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. As Earth's governments prepared their official response to the Kraxan demands, the hidden fleet made its final preparations. The time had come to show the galaxy that humanity was far more than just another primitive species waiting to be conquered. The quantum drive technology was about to make its combat debut, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same. The battle begins. High Admiral Vexthor's ultimatum echoed across Earth's communications channels, his voice dripping with centuries of imperial arrogance. You have one planetary rotation to surrender your world to the Kraxan Empire. Resist, and we will reduce your civilization to ashes. In the quantum carrier, Prometheus's command center, Admiral Harrison allowed himself a small smile. Send our response, Lieutenant. The message was brief. The people of Earth decline your generous offer. Aboard the inevitable Dominion, Vexthor's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of extreme irritation among his species. They dare to reject our demands. Begin the attack sequence. Target their largest population centers first. The massive Kraxan warships moved into attack formation, their weapon systems powering up with ominous purpose. Energy readings spiked across their fleet as they prepared to demonstrate why the Kraxan Empire had remained undefeated for over 3 centuries. But deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Chen initiated the quantum fleet's emergence sequence. All carriers, synchronize quantum cores on my mark. She watched as the status indicators aligned across her display. Mark. The ocean began to shimmer with an otherworldly light. The quantum carriers, each nearly 2 kilometers in length, didn't so much surface as phase into existence. Water seemed to pass through their hulls, as if they were ghosts, the quantum fields bending reality around them. On the inevitable Dominion's bridge, alarms suddenly blared. "High Admiral." Second Commander Zalra shouted, her scaled hands flying across the sensor controls. Multiple massive vessels appearing. Impossible. They're emerging from the planet's ocean. Vexthor strode to the main viewport just in time to witness something that defied everything he thought he knew about physics. 6 enormous vessels rose from Earth's ocean, water cascading off quantum shields that glowed with an inner light his sensors couldn't properly process. "What trickery is this?" he demanded. Their technology was supposed to be primitive. Aboard the Prometheus, Admiral Harrison gave the order they'd been waiting years to deliver. "All ships, execute Protocol Quantum Strike. Show them what humanity is truly capable of." The quantum carriers moved with impossible grace for vessels of their size. The U.S. Athena took point, its defensive quantum fields expanding to create a protective bubble around the fleet. The U.S. Apollo's sensors reached out across space-time, feeding tactical data through the quantum network to all 6 ships simultaneously. The Kraxan Empire fired first, their energy weapons lancing out with enough power to vaporize entire cities. But as the beams approached the Earth fleet, something unprecedented happened. The U.S. Athena's quantum fields bent space itself, causing the attacks to curve away harmlessly into empty space. "Impossible," Vexthor roared. "Nothing can deflect weapons of that magnitude." Dr. Chen's voice was calm, as she coordinated the quantum network from the Prometheus. "Les Airs, you have weapons clearance. Show them what quantum-accelerated particles can do to conventional shields." Colonel Wei's response was immediate. The Ares' main quantum cannon fired, its beam existing in multiple quantum states simultaneously. When it struck the nearest Kraxan battlecruiser, the vessel's shields didn't just fail, they ceased to exist at a quantum level. The beam continued through the ship's hull, leaving a perfectly circular hole that seemed to ignore all normal laws of physics. The Kraxan fleet's rigid formation began to break as ship commanders attempted to adapt to weapons they couldn't understand. But the quantum carriers were just getting started. The U.S. Artemis phased partially out of normal spacetime, becoming virtually invisible even to the naked eye. It reappeared inside the Kraxan formation, its quantum weapons wreaking havoc from within their defensive lines. "All ships, maintain quantum synchronization," Dr. Chen commanded. "The network is our greatest advantage. It lets us act as one while they're still trying to coordinate their responses." The battle developed into a display of technological supremacy that would be studied for centuries to come. The Kraxan fleet, for all its conventional power, found itself unable to cope with weapons and defenses that seemed to ignore the very laws of physics they relied upon. The U.S. Atlas coordinated the quantum network with precision, allowing the Earth fleet to respond to threats before they even fully materialized. The U.S. Apollo's predictive quantum sensors gave them perfect tactical awareness, while the Artemis continued its ghostly attacks from within the enemy formation. High Admiral Vexthor watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible fleet was systematically dismantled by technology he couldn't even begin to comprehend. "How?" he demanded of no one in particular. "How could we have been so wrong about their capabilities?" The answer, of course, was simple. Humanity had learned long ago the value of keeping their true strengths hidden. While the galaxy saw them as a primitive species barely capable of reaching their own moon, they had been quietly developing technology that would reshape the understanding of what was possible. As the battle raged on, Dr. Chen monitored the quantum network's stability. "All cores are maintaining synchronization," she reported to Admiral Harrison. "The Kraxan fleet's conventional weapons can't even begin to interfere with our quantum fields." Harrison nodded, watching as another Kraxan battlecruiser fell to the Ares' quantum weapons. "Send the message to their flagship," he ordered. "Let's see if they're ready to reconsider their position on Earth's surrender." The message was transmitted directly to the Inevitable Dominion's command deck. "The people of Earth offer you one chance to withdraw your forces and recognize our sovereignty. Resist, and we will demonstrate exactly how primitive we aren't." Turning point. High Admiral Vexthor stared at the human message on his command screen, his pride warring with his instinct for survival. Around his flagship, the once mighty Kraxan fleet lay in disarray. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds now drifted helplessly, their conventional weapons useless against Earth's quantum technology. "High Admiral," Second Commander Zalra's voice trembled slightly. "We've lost contact with the entire third battle group. The humans' weapons, they're not just destroying our ships, they're erasing them from existence." On the quantum carrier Prometheus, Dr. Chen monitored the battle's progress with clinical precision. The quantum network linking Earth's 6 carriers had proven more effective than even their most optimistic simulations had predicted. But she knew the true demonstration of their power was yet to come. "Admiral Harrison," she called out, "the quantum cores have reached full synchronization. We can proceed with Protocol Omega." Harrison's expression was grave. They had hoped this final option wouldn't be necessary, but the Kraxan fleet's sheer size meant that a prolonged battle could still pose risks to Earth, despite their technological advantage. "Begin the sequence," he ordered. "Show them why challenging humanity was their greatest mistake." The 6 quantum carriers began moving into a hexagonal formation, their quantum fields interweaving in ways that defied conventional physics. The space between them seemed to ripple and twist, reality itself bending under the influence of their combined power. "What are they doing?" Vexthor demanded, watching the human ship's mysterious maneuver. His sensors were reporting energy readings that made no sense, patterns that shouldn't be possible according to any known laws of physics. Dr. Chen's voice was steady as she coordinated the most ambitious deployment of quantum technology in human history. "All carriers, initiate quantum field expansion. U.S. Atlas, maintain network synchronization. U.S. Apollo, extend predictive scanning to maximum range." The effect was immediate and spectacular. The quantum field generated by the combined carriers began to expand exponentially, creating a sphere of altered spacetime that engulfed an ever-growing portion of the battlefield. Kraxan ships caught in its edge found their weapons refusing to fire, their engines failing to respond, as though the very laws of physics had been locally rewritten. "Impossible," Zalra shouted, her scaled hands dancing frantically across her control panel. "They're creating some kind of reality distortion. Our ships inside the field are reporting total systems failure." But system failures were just the beginning. As the quantum field continued to expand, the trapped Kraxan ships began to experience something far more terrifying. Time itself began to flow differently within the field, with some vessels experiencing hours in the span of seconds, while others seemed frozen in temporal stasis. "This is humanity's true power," Admiral Harrison transmitted to the Inevitable Dominion. "We haven't just mastered space travel. We've learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe itself." Aboard the Prometheus, Dr. Chen watched as the quantum field reached its maximum stable radius. Nearly half the Kraxan fleet was now trapped within it, their mighty warships reduced to helpless observers as human technology rewrote the rules of reality around them. "Field stability at 100%, Lieutenant Commander Wong reported. "We can maintain this configuration for 6 hours before the quantum cores need to reset." The remaining Kraxan ships, those lucky enough to be outside the quantum field's radius, began to retreat in panic. They had come expecting to find a primitive civilization ripe for conquest. Instead, they had encountered a species that had transcended the very boundaries of conventional physics. High Admiral Vexthor stood frozen on his command deck, watching as centuries of Kraxan military supremacy crumbled in the face of human ingenuity. The quantum field had stopped just short of his flagship, a deliberate choice that sent a clear message. Humanity could have destroyed them all, but they were choosing to show mercy. Send the surrender signal, he finally ordered, his voice barely above a whisper. Tell them the Kraxan Empire acknowledges Earth's sovereignty and independence. As the surrender message was transmitted, Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile. The quantum carriers began the careful process of collapsing the reality-altering field, releasing the trapped Kraxan ships back into normal spacetime. Many of their crews would need medical attention, their bodies and minds struggling to cope with the temporal distortions they had experienced. "We did it," Harrison said quietly, standing beside her at the Prometheus's command console. "We proved that humanity isn't just ready for the galaxy, we're ready to help shape its future." The implications of the battle were already rippling across space. The quantum technology displayed by Earth's fleet would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. Humanity had announced its presence not as another conquered species, but as a civilization capable of redefining what was possible. As the Kraxan fleet began its humiliating retreat, Dr. Chen turned to her console one last time. The quantum network was still functioning perfectly, the 6 carriers maintaining their synchronized connection, even as they powered down their reality-altering field. She knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity's mastery of quantum physics had opened doors that would take centuries to fully explore. "Send word to the surface," Harrison ordered. "Tell them Earth is safe, and the galaxy just became a much more interesting place." Victory and consequences. 1 month after the Battle of Earth, the quantum carrier Prometheus hovered in high orbit, its massive form casting a shadow on the International Space Station below. Inside the carrier's diplomatic chamber, Dr. Chen watched as representatives from 20 different alien civilizations filed in, their eyes wide with barely concealed awe at humanity's quantum technology. The Kraxan Empire's defeat had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. The story spread rapidly. A supposedly primitive species had not only repelled one of the galaxy's most powerful forces, but had done so with technology that defied conventional understanding. Now, everyone wanted to know more about the humans who had rewritten the rules of physics itself. The quantum drive was just the beginning, Dr. Chen explained to the assembled delegates, her holographic presentation showing the principles behind their revolutionary technology. "Humanity is prepared to share some of our advances, provided we can establish peaceful cooperation among our civilizations." Admiral Harrison, standing at her side, added, "We developed this technology in secret because we knew the galaxy wasn't ready for cooperation between equals. The Kraxan Empire's attack proved we were right to be cautious, but now we have a chance to build something better." Aboard the remains of the inevitable Dominion, now permanently anchored above Earth as a symbol of the Old Order's fall, High Admiral Vex Thor prepared for his final act as a leader of the Kraxan Empire. His testimony to the Imperial Council had been damning. Humanity's quantum technology had rendered their entire military doctrine obsolete. "We didn't just lose a battle," he told the Council through quantum-encrypted channels. "We lost our understanding of what's possible. The humans haven't just mastered space travel, they've learned to manipulate reality itself. The Empire must adapt, or it will not survive." Back on Earth, the changes were already beginning. The secret of the underwater bases was finally revealed to the public, along with carefully selected details about the quantum fleet's capabilities. The world's governments, once divided by old rivalries, found themselves united by the knowledge that humanity was now a major power in galactic politics. Lieutenant Commander Wong led a team of engineers in establishing the first quantum technology exchange program. "We're not giving away our most advanced secrets," he explained to a group of visiting alien scientists, "but we're willing to help other civilizations develop their own quantum capabilities. The galaxy will be safer if we can all grow together." The U.S. Artemis, under Captain Patel's command, had begun a series of diplomatic missions to former Kraxan territories. The ship's ability to phase through normal spacetime made it the perfect vessel for rapid response to humanitarian crises across the galaxy. Worlds that had suffered under Kraxan occupation were now experiencing their first taste of freedom, with humanity extending a helping hand rather than an imperial fist. "We're not here to replace one empire with another," Captain Patel announced during a relief mission to a newly liberated world. "Earth's policy is clear. We support independence and self-determination for all sentient species." Colonel Wei of the U.S. Airs had a different mission. His ship led the effort to establish a new defensive network, using quantum technology to create a protective shield around Earth and its allies. "Peace through strength," he explained to the United Earth Defense Council, but strength used to protect, not to conquer. The quantum network linking Earth's carriers had become a model for a new kind of galactic communication system. Dr. Chen's team worked tirelessly to adapt the technology for civilian use, promising instantaneous communication across any distance through quantum entanglement. "The quantum revolution isn't just about military power," she explained during a global broadcast. "It's about connecting the galaxy in ways that were previously impossible. Imagine being able to have real-time conversations with someone on the other side of the galaxy, or transmitting medical knowledge instantly to worlds in need." Admiral Harrison spent much of his time in meetings with Earth's political leaders, helping to shape humanity's new role in galactic affairs. "We have a responsibility now," he insisted. "Our technology gives us power, but how we use that power will define our species for centuries to come." The fallen Kraxan Empire was reorganizing itself, with reformers citing the need to adapt to a galaxy where pure military might no longer guarantee supremacy. Several former Kraxan worlds had already applied for membership in the newly formed Galactic Cooperation Initiative, a human-led organization dedicated to sharing knowledge and resources among peaceful civilizations. "We built these ships to defend Earth," she said to Admiral Harrison, who had joined her at the window. "But they've become something more, a bridge between worlds, a symbol of what's possible when we push beyond the boundaries of what we think we know." Harrison nodded, his eyes fixed on the stream of alien ships arriving for the first Galactic Scientific Congress, to be held in the neutral territory of Earth's orbit. "The galaxy expected to find primitives," he said with a slight smile. "Instead, they found teachers." Dr. Chen watched as another diplomatic vessel phased into normal space, its design clearly influenced by humanity's quantum technology. "We showed them that the universe is stranger and more wonderful than they imagined," she replied. "Now we get to help them explore it." The quantum carriers continued their patrol of Earth's space, their presence a reminder that humanity's rise to prominence had come not through conquest, but through innovation and the willingness to defend their independence. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was leading the way into a new era of exploration, cooperation, and discovery. As night fell over Earth, the quantum fleet's signature glow could be seen from the surface, a testament to human ingenuity and a promise of adventures yet to come. The battle was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning.